So, are the Cincinnati Bengals gaining their mojo? Are the Kansas City Chiefs losing their mojo? And how much more mojo does Dak Prescott need? We'll see if we can find the answers to those questions and many more as we get you set for week 10 of fantasy football and week 10 of National Football League action. It's all coming up tonight here on Fantasy Football Fever, and it starts right about now. And greetings to all. Welcome to this edition of Fantasy Football Fever for Tuesday, November 7th, 2023. Wherever you're watching, however you're watching, thanks for making this part of your week. My name, of course, is Tim McClellan. The guy over here is, of course, our league commissioner, John Natali, and of course, the guy down below. And the guy down below me is the host of Hooked on Sports, Mr. John Flynn. And I noticed he shaved off his mustache.
Yeah, yes, I did. It was about time. Now, mind you, I shaved the mustache on Saturday night, so not great for looking at the no shave November things, but but I think we can look at all those things and really take a look at everything. So. But I knew it was time time to shave. But yeah, but listen, Tim. How about a team from your neck of the woods in Dallas with the Texas Rangers?
Yes, sir. First world championship in team history. It's just so awesome. I mean, now you can add the Dallas Fort Worth area to a list of the main cities where there is a world champ, at least one world championship in each one of the four major sports leagues. I mean, the Cowboys, they already have 5. The Stars got their Stanley Cup in '99, even though I still think that was tainted. 2011, the Mavericks won their first NBA championship. And then, of course, this just past week, the Rangers won their first world championship. So, got it all covered now. So, feels pretty good. And so, speaking of feeling pretty good, let's go to on our stats. Yeah, all of the ball here. Starting with John Flynn and Andrew St. Clair's matchup.
What? And this is last week, so we will go to the results from last week. I thought that was a different, but give me a second. But
yeah, you'll take a look at this week's schedule.
Yep.
All right. Just a slight adjustment is all we need there. So I hope everyone's doing okay. Hope everyone's team is winning. Hope you're doing good in your fantasy league so far. Getting close to the end for some of our leagues, including our league, of course.
Yeah, 5 weeks left.
5 weeks before the playoffs. Oh, wait, Flynn, did I just say playoffs?
Oh my gosh, you're making me do this.
Yes,
playoffs. Don't talk about it. Playoffs. Don't talk about it. Playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Tim, you're killing me.
Hey, I gotta get you early here.
All right.
Well, anyway, Mr. Flynn took care of Dino by a score of 121-7 to 109-4. looking at the numbers here. Nice, respectable numbers from Sam Howell and Chubba Hubbard. And Tyreek Hill was not quite impressive, but I mean Tyreek Hill, still Tyreek Hill. Devontae Smith got good numbers there. Good pickup for the Browns defense special teams, 25.0 points. Not bad.
Oops.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, what
Oops.
happened?
Hey, good.
Maybe we had,
This is new to me.
maybe we need to add a little something that says we're experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Mhm.
Oh my god,
That's all right,
this is now
folks.
popping up in all of my leagues. Yeah, but it was a but while we're fixing this, that but I did get bailed out by it's by Justin Herbert having not much luck against the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
you didn't have no touchdown passes. Didn't have anything there.
oh no.
The only
Yes,
touchdown came on the ground.
yeah, I projected
Yeah.
a 21.2, but he only got 7.14 points.
Yeah.
Dino was able to get 19.2 from Derrick Henry, 17.9 from Jonathan Taylor, 12.7 from Mike Evans, David Njoku, 12.6, and 18 points off of the Saints defense special teams. Meanwhile, taking a look at the bench numbers, wow. Let's say it's almost what 4, 13. Just about a little more than 18 total bench points for Flynn. Well, he had 1, 2, 3 players on bye, so I guess that made the difference there. Meanwhile, Brian Robinson left 11.7 points on the bench, and Ravens defense special teams had 18.0. So I think we're back online now.
Yeah, it's Justin Herbert only 7.14 points as I was talking about before.
Right.
Yeah, so that was the main difference on that one.
Yeah. But that puts Flynn at a record of 7-2, first place in the Butthead division. That puts Dino down to 4-5, third in the.
Yeah, and this means with my win and your loss, Tim, I'm now first place in the league.
Yep. Because as you people can clearly see, Alex took care of me by a score of 152.6 to 116.48. Despite the fact that I got 29.88 points from Jalen Hurts, but of course, as pretty much everyone knows by now, CJ Stroud with that totally amazing game that he had last week.
A rookie record.
Yep, a new rookie record, 51.8 fantasy points for Alex. And he unfortunately he left Jahmyr Gibbs on the starting roster, even though he was on the bye. Got 27 points from Dalton Schultz. 15.7 points from Keenan Allen. Now, Keenan Allen, he is like quietly becoming a legend. I mean, he just passed 10,000 yards. Yeah, I think he'll be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think he's going.
Meanwhile, once again, Bijan Robinson totally disappointed me. Going up against that Minnesota defense.
Yeah, and like Arthur Smith's usage of him has been mind-boggling. You take him with the 8th overall pick and he doesn't get you score 28 points in a game and he doesn't get used. I mean, what is this, amateur hour?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the top brass over there with them dirty birds. I mean, come on, man. He was like one of the top prospects of the league. I was able to get 14.5 off of Raheem Mostert, got 19.6 off of AJ Brown. Gabe Davis disappointed me, but of course they ran into a kind of a buzzsaw with Cincinnati this past week.
Yeah, without a doubt, he and also look,
yeah.
And also look at this, his bench with Rashad White and Alexander Madison.
Yeah, 27.9 and 17.3 respectively. And I left 26.32 Joe Burrow, but I had Jalen Hurts scoring just a little bit more, so. But I'll be able to put Cortland Sutton, Sam Laporta, Fred Warner, and I still got a bench player I got to tap in there, so I'll be checking those waiver wires as soon as we go off the air tonight. So basically,
yeah, and I know I have a waiver claim that put in there, but
I got a funny feeling that you and Adam are going to try to claim the same player. Sure, just a hunch, because both Adam and Flynn right now are in the market for a tight end.
Anyway, moving on right now. We had Lucas going to 5-4 with his victory over David, 117.08 to 88.96. Got some. Looks like Lucas got good points from Josh Jacobs, 21.8. 22 points from Deontay Johnson. A little underachievement for the Lamar Jackson. Only got him 11.48. Meanwhile, Deshaun Johnson got David 22.96 points and 17.9 points from Aaron Jones. Damian Pierce, well, it was all in the air for Houston last week, so I guess. And Justin Jefferson didn't get anything. Well, we got 28.1 from CD Lamb. Very impressive, but he still had Evan Engram and Amon-Ra St. Brown on the bye last week, and he left him on his starting list. David. David, we gotta talk.
Yeah, I've tried telling him once.
Yeah, we gotta talk, bud. Meanwhile, let's check the bench players. Well, Lucas somehow got Tank Dell from Houston, wide receiver, 29.6 points on the bench. Meanwhile, Breece Hall, 16.2. Alvin Kamara at 18.2. Jahan Johnson, 11.3. Michael Thomas, 0. And 12.1 from Juju Smith-Schuster. So that's basically how it went. David, pay attention to the waiver wires, your injury reports. That is the most important thing. Cannot stress it enough.
All right, so here's a here's a matchup that was decided by 10 points or less.
Oh yeah, the close finish here. Casey took down Andrew 124.68 to 115.52. Thanks to 26.7 Andrew was able to get 26.72 points off of Josh Allen. Got 14.3 off of Saquon Barkley. Chris Olave with 16.6. Terry McLaurin, 12.3. Nico Collins, 14.4. CJ Mosley with 11. On the other side, you got 21 points from Austin Eckler, 22.6 from Stephon Diggs. T. Higgins got him 19. Dalton Kincaid with 16.1. Najee Harris, 15.6. And 15 points even from the Packers defense special teams. Meanwhile, go down to, he only got 2.68 points from Geo Smith. And let's see here. Cole Kmet on the bench had 25.5, and Amari Cooper had 24.9. Meanwhile, Andrew only got 14.2 points entirely off the bench from Tua time. So that's basically how that matchup went. And
this one came down to the wire, came down to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Natalie over Oliver here.
Yeah, I won my rematch. He was the only one who gave me a beatdown the whole season. I got my revenge though.
Well, congratulations to you, sir. 107.42 to 106.1. Got 15.82 from Jordan Love on that one. 12.7 from Jerome Ford. 17.2 from Gus Edwards. 10.5 from DeAndre Hopkins. 13.9 from TJ Hawkinson. 10.2 from Jordan Addison. 11 from Bobby Wagner. And Matt Gay got him 11. Meanwhile, on Adam's side of the board, you got 19.8 from Patrick Mahomes. 17.8 from Joe Mixon. 22.9 from Ramondre. Some of these guys' names. But 22.9, not bad at all. Garrett Wilson at 13. Sorry, no points for Tyler Higbee.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, because in last night's game, Garrett Wilson lost a fumble in the first quarter because the fumble is -2, and had that fumble not happened, Adam would have won over Natali.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
yeah, but then again, had Adam started Dak, he could have won.
Yeah,
he
or
won.
if he started
34.6.
Or if he started Jacoby Myers over Tyler Lockett or DJ Moore, he would have won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Only a total of 19.1 points on the bench for Natalie there. So.
Yeah, I picked all the right players this time, but then again, I had a bunch of buys.
It's with Christian McCaffrey, with Calvin Ridley, and George Kittle, all players who were off this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somehow I squeaked by without either of them.
Yeah. So I guess that's basically how our matchups took place there. Taking a look now at the standings as was mentioned earlier, Mr. Flynn now takes the overall seed in our league, followed by yours truly. They got Natalie. They got Lucas, Dino, Adam, Casey, Andrew. Then they got Alex, and then you got David.
And despite the mess at the bottom, they're one game out. That's it.
Yeah, and it just more interestingly is that even though Adam is currently in the 6th seed, he only right now has a 49% chance to make the playoffs, whereas KC right now is a 7 seed, has a 60% chance to make the playoffs, and despite scoring 100 fewer points than Adam. But I think it's because Adam still has a lot of players soon to get beyond the bye week, and then the weeks 11 and 12. Week 11 he's facing Tim, and then week 12, a week where everybody plays, I face him. So he's got a tough schedule coming up the next couple of weeks. Yes. So I'm 7-2 right now. So I think it's time now to start looking at the at the matchups here. Just give me 1 second. Let me get here we go.
Yeah, we'll take a look ahead now. See, that's where we accidentally started the show, but we have it now. It's going to have Andrew taking on Flynn here.
Ooh, a rematch.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
One of Flynn's 2 losses.
Yeah.
So right now, Andrew has the advantage 133.9 to 118.1.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. Flynn's got his big 3 on bye. You got a tall order here.
Yeah, because I have Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Smith all off this week. So I have I have my backup plan plans ready to go through the waiver wire.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to lose interest in Sky Moore now because of Rashee Rice. I mean, he is really coming on as a probably the number 2 receiver that the Chiefs have.
Yeah, I've been dead wrong. I was dead wrong on Sky Moore from the start of the season. Because remember we went through the Chiefs during the offseason. We went through the Chiefs during the draft, and I thought Sky Moore was going to be WR1. I thought it was going to be another brilliant draft selection by Brett Veach to replace Tyreek Hill, but he has not turned out that way. But luckily for Kansas City, their defense has been winning them games, specifically the one against the Dolphins in Germany, where the Chiefs had a defensive score and they won by a touchdown.
Yeah. So let's see here. Let's see what okay, well, Andrew's got 2 guys on the bench right now, so
yeah, with Tua Tagovailoa, who I have him in my other league, and Kyron Williams, who is the reason he beat me. Andrew beat me in week 2 because he had 30 points in that game against the 49ers. So, but he will not be able to suit up for Andrew because his team is on bye. And also, Kyron Williams won't be back until probably week 12 because he's still on injured reserve.
Right, so that's how the matchup looks for Mr. Flynn versus Mr. St. Clair. And let's go to the next matchup here.
Nope, give me a second.
All right, let's go to that one here. It's where is it? There it is, right here. It's KC versus myself, and yeah, I got a lot of work to do.
Oh my god, yeah, because you have 5 players all off this week, and Eventually you're gonna have some decisions to make, and you got to deal with Bijan Robinson, who the Falcons just who is invisible to the Falcons, and so then Gabe Davis, of course, and then you have two running backs on bye. Your starting tight end who is now going to miss 4 weeks because of a fractured forearm. You got AJ Brown on the bye. You got Jalen Hurts on the bye. So you have a lot to work on, Mister.
Yes, I do. I do have a lot to digest here, and I'll have to. Yeah, I mean, it's just unfair the way that the Falcons are treating their top draft pick. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's just and Gabe Davis, it's kind of up and down. I mean, he's a great receiver, of course. Stephon Diggs, of course, is wide receiver 1 with the Bills, but Gabe Davis is a great number 2, and have to give up Brown and Hurts. But I got Joe Burrow, I got Cortland Sutton, Sam Laporta, Fred Warner on the bench. I could probably start them, but I got some other decisions to make as well.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pick up a couple of players off the waiver wire or in free agency.
Meanwhile, looks like Casey doesn't really have to do much of anything as far as making changes. He can just trade out starters and bench players here as he wants to, but
it's because he's got some good matchups like Kenneth Walker against Washington.
yeah.
It's Stephon Diggs against the Broncos, Dalton Kincaid against the Broncos, Najee Harris, the Packers defense against Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator. So
yeah,
yeah, so
I'll be definitely hitting those waiver wires between now and Thursday.
Yep.
Next one, please. We got Lucas against Natalie here. Right now, Lucas has a slight edge, 135.8 to 129.8. This here looks like all the starters for both teams are starting, and each of them. Well, let's see. Italy has 2 on the bye, with 1 on the bye for Lucas. So just slight adjustments, I guess, for both sides there.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What are you thinking, Natalie?
Yeah, I got a bit of a roster crunch. I haven't really figured out who I'm starting yet. I'm kind of nervous to start Calvin Ridley. Right now I have him on the bench, even though he's projected with a good total. I'm just not sure with that 49er defense, despite both of them being rested.
Yeah.
Right.
But then again, Ridley hasn't been too flashy. He's only had 2 touchdowns this whole year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Hopkins he's like a bag of tricks. Every time I start him, he does nothing, and when I bench him, he goes off.
Yeah, and you also got to deal with the Jordan Love Justin Fields dilemma again, because you got Jordan Love going against the Steelers, and then you got Justin Fields going on Thursday night against Carolina.
Yeah.
And you'll have to make a determination on that, which I don't think is going to be that complicated. And I'll explain why later on in the show.
Yeah, well, Fields hasn't been cleared yet, so we'll see. Fields not out of the woods just yet.
Yeah.
I'm waiting until he's officially in or out before I make my decision.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a very interesting proposition right there. So
yeah, that's why I pulled back on Kyler Murray for now. I was tempted to get him, but
all right. Next, we got Dino going up against David. Right now, Dino has the advantage 137.8 to 110.5.
Yeah. Looking at looking at David, it's not that bad for him.
Not that bad, even though he still has Justin Jefferson in his starting lineup, and Damian Pierce is questionable for the Texans.
Yeah.
Looking down at their bench players,
But this should be a perfect opportunity for David to win if he can make his lineup adjustments, because looking at Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, so he can move one of them to the flex and move Amon St. Brown to one of the wide receiver spots to replace Justin Jefferson. So this can absolutely be a week where David can win if he makes fantasy adjustments.
if he makes those adjustments, he could probably break through here.
Yeah, because listen, he's only a game behind.
Yeah, only one game behind here. So
Yeah,
this is your
meanwhile,
opportunity, David. David,
Yeah.
this is your opportunity, buddy.
yeah, and this is a team, a player that he is trailing for one of those playoff spots, because I think Beavis right Dino is right now the 5 seed. So if they win, they pull even.
Ah, that'll be a close one right there.
Yeah. Yes, and I think I think Beavis is probably going to get much better results from Justin Herbert and from Jonathan and also getting Deebo Samuel back, because Deebo was practicing yesterday, and I think he was back at it today. So that's a really good news for the 49ers. And also Trent Williams was doing work on the side for the 49ers. So it very much looks like if he is able to play, he's going to play on Sunday. So that's really good news for the San Francisco 49ers.
Very good for a team that's coming off the bye week, that is coming off of the bye week after coming off 3 straight losses after they totally destroyed the Cowboys.
Yeah. But I think that the injuries to Deebo Samuel and to Trent Williams made a big difference.
Right.
All right. So here's the last matchup of the week. And this is going to be a critical one, because you got Adam taking on Putnam, and that might be big for one of the wild cards at the end, because Putnam, after starting the season 0-6, has won 3 in a row.
Yeah, not bad. Looks like looking at the stars, looks like Adam's got Tyler Higbee on the bye. It's got Patrick Mahomes, Harrison Butker for the Chiefs. Chiefs are on the bye week this week, so not much. Just slight adjustments here. I mean, nothing real too serious or anything.
Most definitely, most definitely about that.
So that's basically how our fantasy league is going so far. We do have a fantasy question up on the screen right now from Kenny Stay Trill. All right, start 2 full PPR. Be John Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, or Joe Mixon. I will tell you right now, I have just about as much faith as Bijan Robinson. I think I have more faith in Bijan Robinson than the Atlanta Falcons brass do. I mean, I don't know. They're not working him like they should be working a top draft pick. Jonathan Taylor, of course, he recently came off injury. He's okay. Joe Mixon, I would definitely, if I had to take 2 of those 3, I would obviously have to take Jonathan Taylor and Joe Mixon.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree.
We're sharing the brain on this one. Jonathan Taylor is going up against the Patriots in Germany, and Joe Mixon's going up against the Texans on Sunday in Cincinnati. So it's not bad matchups either one. And I think the crazy thing is we're talking about Bijan Robinson for a team for a Falcons team that's playing the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday, which is mind-boggling. But and speaking of Arizona, which does lead us to some of our hot topics, and I think for week 10, I think one of the big maybe the big hot topic I'm going to lead off with is the potential return of Kyler Murray, and Jonathan Gannon spoke to the press yesterday and said if all goes well in practice this week, said that Kyler Murray will start make his 2023 season debut to make his return from his ACL tear on Sunday, going up against the Atlanta Falcons. So I would ask you guys, but now that Kyler Murray is back, where should he be on that rank of quarterbacks in fantasy going forward here? Is he starter worthy? Is he someone you want to stash on your bench in case something goes wrong? So what do you guys think about Kyler Murray?
I would say put him on the bench for now. Give him a couple games to develop, and then if he does really well, then he's a clear starter. Unless you're absolutely in a bind and you're desperate for a quarterback, I would start him. But right now, he's a bench stash just to give a game or two to see how he develops.
But I also want to throw in too in a week where Patrick Mahomes, Tua Tagovailoa, and Jalen Hurts are all off this week. I think there was going to I think Kyler Murray is going to be a trendy pick to start because it's a Cardinals team that started Clayton Tune on Sunday. They of course got shellacked against the Browns. They lost 27-0 to one of the best defenses in the NFL. But also against the Falcons team, so that just lost at home to Joshua Dobbs of the Vikings, a Vikings team that just added him 5 days prior, and yet he didn't take any snaps with the first team because Kevin O'Connell was planning on starting Jaron Hall. Hall gets hurt. The Dobbs comes in and he leads the Vikings to an improbable victory on the road against Atlanta in a game that could decide whether or not the Vikings make the Falcons make the playoffs because when you harken back to the preseason standings and how I saw the NFC. I was the one that threw out the Panthers making the playoffs. I actually did have Carolina preseason making the playoffs. Obviously, that's not happening. But team number 8 in my rankings in the NFC was Minnesota. So I think now Minnesota, now at 5-4, now they have a tiebreaker over Atlanta. Now they have another chance to win another tiebreaker against the Saints on Sunday. So it's going to be a monster game there. And in a game that Joshua Dobbs, who is known to be an astronaut, is a tough, dependable, and good instinct quarterback. So that's for that. But as for the Cardinals, I mean, do the Cardinals want the number 1 overall pick in the draft? Because it feels like, and we're at a stage now where there are a lot of bad teams in the NFL. When you're looking at Arizona, when you're looking at Chicago, when you're looking at Carolina. By the way, the Bears have the Panthers pick because of the Bryce Young trade. You're looking at the Giants, you're looking at the Patriots. That four of those teams could go out and draft Caleb Williams next year if the opportunity is presented to them. So it's going to be very interesting to see what transpires there.
Yeah.
Yes. So other news that we need to discuss. How about we were talking about C.J. Stroud and how Tim lost because of C.J. Stroud's incredible performance. So C.J. Stroud had 470 passing yards, 5 touchdowns in the win over the Bucs. So is C.J. Stroud a top 10 quarterback going forward, guys?
That's a close one. I want to say he's just shy. I want to say 11 or 12.
I'd say just below the top 10, but not by much. I mean, He is a very good rookie quarterback. Congratulations on those big numbers he put up this past Sunday. We'll just have to see what he does, if he can keep that momentum going through the rest of the season. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, you think it's a foregone conclusion that he's the offensive rookie of the year?
Yeah, oh, at this stage, I would say so.
I mean, because if you think of the candidates for offensive rookie of the year, we were thinking Bryce Young, we were thinking Anthony Richardson, we were thinking
And John Robinson, yeah.
Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, but C.J. Stroud, 470 passing yards is the NFL record for a rookie. So,
Yeah.
so you could take that for what it's worth. And the Texans needed that victory on the heels of losing on the road to Carolina. So now the Texans are 4-4, and they are a game back of Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. For the wild card. And speaking of the AFC North, if the season ended today, the three wild card teams would all come from the AFC North. But now Baltimore is 7-2, and then you have Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Cincinnati as the last three wild cards. So I think that's a very interesting development there. Yeah, and also. Yeah, and I also there's also another a couple of other things to know is that we were mentioning Dallas Goedert. So he's out. He has a fractured forearm. He's out for 4 weeks. So I think there's some opportunities here for maybe for more targets for AJ Brown, for Devontae Smith when they see Kansas City in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the Vikings the Minnesota Vikings suffered 2 more injuries to their offense on top of Kirk Cousins, on top of Justin Jefferson. That they lost their running back Cam Akers to an Achilles tear, so his season is over. So I think so now this means even though it sucks to see someone go down, this is a big win for Alexander Madison fantasy owners because Alex Madison, I was screaming he is a legit RB2 in 10 to 12 team leagues, and now Madison, so who is ranked number 23 in fantasy rankings, saw his production dip over the last in each of the last 3 weeks. Caught a touchdown that he ran, and he had 16 carries in the win against Atlanta, and his 2 catches for 49 yards and a touchdown in Minnesota's victory over Atlanta. So now you're going to see. So who can we pick up? Who can we start? Who can we buy a low for? I think Alexander Madison is a perfect fit for anybody going forward, because when you're looking on the heels of what Minnesota is trying to do, if you're looking at how Minnesota is adjusting things with the Jefferson injury, with the Osborne injury, Alexander Madison is going to be up there with that and anybody. So that's a storyline going forward here. And then we also got to talk about Daniel Jones. His right ACL is torn. His season is over. I remember I'm a Hooked on Sports podcast. I made a take so loud that I even made a graphic for it for my socials. Was that I thought Daniel Jones was going to have a monster season, because thinking year 2 under Brian Daboll has some stability. We thought for the first time ever with Brian Daboll coming off Coach of the Year, and it just feels like, Natal, that what has gone wrong for the New York Football Giants this year has gone wrong.
Yeah, I can't believe I put them at the 7th seed.
Yeah, I did not have the Giants making the playoffs, but this. And losing to Antonio Pierce and the Raiders. I mean, but definitely going in, which by the way is a big story, another big story, hot topic, because the Raiders finally fired Josh McDaniels after a year and a half
Yeah.
of torture.
Finally.
Yeah, I think now this means with the Giants like injury stuff, I think they're either going to get either Caleb Williams or Marvin Harrison Jr. in the draft, one or the other.
Yeah.
But I'm more so hoping for Marvin Harrison Jr. They need a boost at the receiver position. The receivers aren't cutting it.
Yeah, that too. I was dead wrong on because I thought the Giants would be able to win with the depth of the wide receiver position, but nobody's cutting it. Because I mean, take a look at what the Philadelphia Eagles have with AJ Brown, and because Adam Shine at Sirius XM and CBS Sports right now has AJ Brown as his pick for league MVP. Because if you look at what Jalen Hurts was before the AJ Brown trade and after the AJ Brown trade, it's been amazing, and how Tennessee and how John Robinson gave up Antonio Brown for Tennessee in the first place. Who knows? But that trade was the reason he no longer he got fired last year.
Yeah, definitely.
So we have that. So let's see what else do we have? We have I think we covered that. Another injury that for the depth ranks, Joshua Downs has suffered a knee injury in the Colts win over Carolina. So for the moment, he's going to be out for a couple of weeks.
Wonder what difference that's going to make.
Yeah. Yeah, and also how about the Ravens' incredible rushing attack? Because you look at Gus Edwards, you look at Keaton Mitchell out of all people. He comes up big for the Ravens in their victory over Seattle. Because it was tremendous.
I didn't see much on that, but that's very impressive right there. I will say that.
So now you've seen Baltimore, you've seen Jacksonville, you've seen a turning of the corner with Cincinnati. So which one of those three teams do you feel like is the biggest threat to Kansas City in the AFC? Baltimore, Jacksonville, or Kansas City?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go with Baltimore. I think that they define the odds. They proved me wrong. I didn't have them making the playoffs, but yeah, they've been playing exceptionally well.
I have to go Baltimore, but with Jacksonville, it's a very close second.
Mm-hmm.
Very close second.
Yeah, and I think a popular pick right now to be a league MVP right now is Lamar Jackson, because if you look at what Lamar Jackson has done, he had a couple of tough moments. I think you look at the Indy losses one, you look at how he played in the second half of the Pittsburgh game, but my goodness, what a demolition derby that the Ravens have played throughout the course of the season.
Right.
Yeah, he definitely proved me wrong. I think I remember when we had a show. I think before the season started, we had like who would be like the biggest improvement and who would be like the least improved. I forgot what the exact terminology you used, but I had Lamar Jackson as my bust of the year.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I do remember that. And then
wait, didn't you say Tyreek Hill though?
So I said Tyreek Hill, and ironically, I drafted him with my first pick.
Yeah,
which is the craziest thing, because but he's been incredible, and also with Tyreek Hill, have you seen? I don't know if you guys are on TikTok, but there is a school teacher in Miami, who was like a diehard sports fan. So that she used it, and that they're in Miami, so they're all Dolphins fans. So So they learn a lot of math based by tracking Tyreek Hill stats.
Oh, I saw that on my Facebook news feed. I saw that on her.
Yeah, Mary Martinez is her name. So Tyreek Hill only had 62 yards receiving on the season. So right now he's at 1,076 yards receiving, and so that means he needs 924 more receiving yards to get to 2,000, and he needs 115.5 more yards per game more, assuming he plays all 18 games between 8 games between after the bye week. So that's definitely going to be monitored. But it feels like Tyreek Hill would be everyone's midseason pick for offensive player of the year. Him or AJ Brown are the ones to me that really stand out.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Hill.
Yeah. So there were 5 running backs that scored 20 more points in fantasy last week. You had Ramondre Stevenson for Adam. You had Josh Jacobs, 21.8 points, because I think he had a couple of touchdowns against the Giants. You had Keaton Mitchell. He had 9 carries for 138 yards and a touchdown. So that was tremendous. Austin Eckler had 2 touchdowns, 21 points. And then Rachaad White of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he led everybody with 27.9 fantasy points. So he had 2 touchdowns. He had over 100 all-purpose yards. He had 4 receptions, 2 rushing touchdowns. So he was incredible. So there were 6 wide receivers who scored more than 20 points. Two of the top 3 are Houston Texans with Tank Dell, who has just been unreal. Noah Brown.
Huh?
Had 27.3 points. CeeDee Lamb had 28.1 points for the Cowboys, and because I have so back-to-back weeks, CeeDee Lamb had a monster performance. With 11 catches, 191 yards in loss to Philadelphia on Sunday. So as someone who has CeeDee Lamb in his other league, I'm very happy about that. And Jake Ferguson too. So Amari Cooper had 24.9 fantasy points, which to me was a direct result of Deshaun Watson coming back. Stephon Diggs had 22.6 points against Cincinnati, and with 22 points, welcome back to the fantasy conversation, Deontay Johnson.
Wow, yeah, definitely.
Yes. So 3 weeks, so 2 weeks in a row, he's outperformed. Actually, 3 weeks in a row, he's outperformed expectations and outperformed the projections. So Deontay Johnson has proven to be a difference going forward. So with that, and you also had 6 tight ends score more than 20 points last week. You had Jonnu Smith, the Falcons, Jake Ferguson, Taysom Hill had a touchdown, and he also had a touchdown pass too in that one.
Yeah.
Cade Otton of the Buccaneers had 23 points. Cole Kmet of the Bears, 25.5 in New Orleans, and then Dalton Schultz led everybody with 27 points.
Yeah, once again, CJ Stroud with that awesome game, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all our topics for now.
Yes. Yeah, well, I mean, a lot to digest over those last 20 minutes, but
Ooh, yeah.
It's now a question for you, Tim. Is that do you have a trivia question for us, or do you not?
Actually, I do. I kind of was going with one or the other. I think I'll just go with this one here. So for all of y'all watching out there, it's
Time
time to
for
put
those
on your
thinking caps.
thinking caps. Yes. Okay, here we go. Here's our question. The basis of our question is kind of based on what happened this past Sunday, with CJ Stroud setting the new rookie record with a total of 5 touchdowns and 470 yards this past Sunday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is simple. Whose record did he beat? Something to think about right there. Whose record did CJ Stroud beat? CJ Stroud, 470 passing yards, 5 touchdowns. CJ Stroud beat the next person. We just want to know who that is. And while you're thinking about the answer, I think we got some stardoms and setums.
Yeah, I passed the baton to Flynn this week. I'm going to do it next week.
Yep. So we will get into that, but first we have a word from our guys at the Four Horsemen.
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby!
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube.
That's right, folks. Y'all be sure to saddle up with me and my friends over there with the Four Horsemen Pick'ems tomorrow night, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. A Pizzle 90, that's a channel to look up. So what we got next on the agenda?
Yes, so we are going. I'm going to give you my ideas for who to start and sit this week. So without any further ado, let's get to it. My fantasy starting quarterback for week number 10 of the National Football League, assuming he is clear, we'll have to see it, but it's looking pretty good for him. I'm going to go with my guy, Justin Fields of the Chicago Bears. I think Justin Fields has a tremendous matchup against the Carolina Panthers because when you're looking at what the Bears do well, that you're looking at two things that you want to see the Bears do well. Maybe because they've abandoned the pass attack, but still, so they have number 4 in the league in rushing. They're number 4 in rush defense. They're number 1 in yards allowed per carry. And given the instability with the Bears running back room, it looks like Khalil Herbert is going to be coming off injured reserve and going to be playing this Thursday night. So this is and even though Carolina is ranked number 8, ranked has the 8th ranked fantasy defense against quarterbacks, it doesn't account for Justin Fields' mobile ability, and I think the Panthers are going to have a hard time stopping the run, and I think Justin Fields is going to be part of that. I think Justin Fields has a great matchup for the Chicago Bears going up against the Carolina Panthers on Thursday night. My starting running back for week number 10 in the NFL, I'm going to go with Breece Hall for the New York Jets. For first time all year, I've been stressing the positive with Breece Hall. But look, Breece Hall's healthy. He's been effective, and I think he's got a really good matchup here against the Vegas Raiders. I mean, and lost in the shuffle with the Raiders' dominant victory over the Giants. I thought Saquon Barkley played really well. If we're being honest here, he had close to 100 yards rushing against the Raiders on Sunday, and I think Breece Hall with his power running attack and a Raiders defense that might not have so that might not stop the run. I think it's a great matchup for him. Also, in a game where there's potential garbage time situations, that Brees Hall might have some catches out of the backfield as well. So I think it's a really good matchup for Brees Hall against the Raiders. So I think Brees Hall is my pick to start for this week. I don't even say this for this Jets offense, but this is a good matchup for him. My fantasy wide receiver starting for the week, and I know, Natalia, you will appreciate this. It's DeAndre Hopkins. I think DeAndre Hopkins has a tremendous matchup on Sunday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This was a Bucs defense that gave up 470 passing yards to C.J. Stroud, a rookie. Now, mind you, C.J. Stroud is in the conversation for offensive rookie of the year in front of a front runner for that. And C.J. Stroud, if the season were to end today, which it doesn't, he is going to get some 4th and 5th place votes for league MVP. But DeAndre Hopkins now has Will Levis as a starting quarterback again. And I think the Titans announced today that Will Levis is going to be the starter going forward for Tennessee, which I think is the right move, the only move. Ryan Tannehill should never see the field again for the Titans, and DeAndre Hopkins is going to benefit from the long ball. So for all the smack I've given Natalia about DeAndre Hopkins, my starting wide receiver is my guy, DeAndre Hopkins. Is this Ron Burgundy? Am I crazy? Yeah, you bet I'm crazy. DeAndre Hopkins is my starting for the week for wide receivers. My fantasy tight end for the week to start is Trey McBride of the Arizona Cardinals, and I think he's going to be a beneficiary, the beneficiary of Kyler Murray coming back, because I think Kyler Murray should be, assuming he comes back, he should be able to spread the ball down the field. McBride is a good matchup against the Falcons defense that's had some issues covering tight ends this year. So I think what figures to be what could be a high scoring game. I think Trey McBride is going to have 6 to 8 catches in this one. So I'm going to start Trey McBride. Now, my fantasy defense / special teams. This one was a toss up. Now for the sake of fairness here, everyone's going to say the Cowboys defense because against the Giants, because the Cowboys defense against Tommy DeVito is just simply not a fair fight. So for the sake of fairness, we're not going to include the Cowboys because it's so obvious. But I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens against the Cleveland Browns. I think this is a really good matchup for the Ravens because I think the Ravens, given their pass rush potential, and given what they've shown, and given that in the last 2 weeks at home that they've outscored their opponents by a score of 75-9. And now you have a Browns team that's been relying on its defense to win. I think this is a terrific matchup for the Ravens defense, which has been the best in the NFL, and I've been proven wrong on the Ravens all year. And the blowout against Seattle, mind you, I picked the Ravens to win, but I took the Seahawks at the points, and I don't regret that pick of Seattle +5, +4, and I think it was +4.5. But yes, absolutely, you got to start the Ravens defense again this week. They've been the number 2 defense in fantasy this year behind Dallas. My fantasy kicker of the week to start, I'm not saying it because I have him in my other league. It's Younghoe Koo of the Atlanta Falcons against the Arizona Cardinals, and with that Cardinals defense, they should be able to move the ball up and down the field. And so, but I don't know how good enough this Falcons team is to get touchdowns here. So I think a lot of field goal attempts for Younghoe Koo. Arthur Smith is known to be very conservative in terms of play calling, and I think that's kind of cost him in late game situations. So Younghoe Koo is my pick to be my starting kicker here for the Atlanta Falcons. My Sedums of the week, my Sedum quarterback of the week is Trevor Lawrence for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And because look, You know I'm obsessed with Trevor Lawrence. I think he is. I think when you're looking at intangibles, when you eliminate statistics and you include the intangibles, I think Trevor Lawrence is the top 5 quarterback in the NFL. But stats wise, it's not been there this year. And I think it might have to do with some turnover on the offensive line. It may be that they've been facing good defenses all year. When you're looking at like examples include Kansas City and Pittsburgh and Buffalo. So 2 of those 3 teams that they've already beaten, but the 49ers defense that just got Chase Young from the Commanders. I think which I think something we missed because excuse me, we covered that last week, but Chase Young will be making his 49ers debut, and he's going to be playing on that defensive line alongside Javon Hargrave, alongside Nick Bosa. I mean, with that matchup favors the 49ers, and yikes. My running back setup of the week, I know he's I know this might be for an interest for Natalie. I would set Jerome Ford of the Cleveland Browns against the Baltimore Ravens, and I think I think you look at look at the Browns. Look, I've been obsessed with the Browns offensive line all year, but I think that they have an even matchup here, and I don't think that's going to favor a team that will be on the field that much. So Jerome Ford is my second running back of the week. My second wide receiver of the week is Devontae Adams for the Vegas Raiders going up against the Jets, and Devontae Adams is going to be has Sauce Gardner as the guy who's going to guard him. So I think on the heels of a couple of back to back bad matchup bad weeks for him. So and in week 8 against the Lions on that Monday night game, he only had 1 catch for 11 yards. And in the game against the Giants, a game that the Raiders won by 24 points. And Devontae Adams only had 4 catches for 34 yards. And in fact, in 4 of the last 5 weeks, Devontae Adams has scored less than 10 points in all of them. So it's definitely not going to improve against the Jets defense with one of the best corners of the game in Sauce Gardner guarding him for 60 minutes on Sunday Night Football. And still can't believe that Jets Raiders game wasn't flexed out of Sunday Night Football. My tight end sit of the week is I can't believe I'm saying this because I have him in my other league. Kyle Pitts of the Atlanta Falcons against the Arizona Cardinals because Jonnu Smith has done a better job of producing for the Falcons these past few weeks, and Kyle Pitts is trending in the wrong direction. I fear so. And I think this is more about a volume situation rather than a matchup situation. So I think Jonnu Smith is gonna have more production on Sunday for the Atlanta Falcons than he. And my sit-em defense of the week is going to be the Cleveland Browns defense / special teams. I know they're mine, but I think it's going to be a brutal matchup for them. In terms of Lamar Jackson, that running attack, it's going to be not easy by any stretch of the imagination there. And my sit-em kicker of the week is going to be Cameron Dicker of the LA Chargers against the Lions because the Lions have not given up more than 10 points to a fantasy kicker yet this season in one game. And I think in a game that's going to require the Chargers to score touchdowns, that'll limit the field goal attempts and the extra points, 2-point conversions, or whatever the game script will be. That's who I have as my sit-em of the week with that regard. So, and any surprises, guys?
Wow, you really got me with the Hopkins one. I totally did not see that coming.
Because I've been screaming for years. I think Will Levis is a good solid quarterback. And Will Levis was QB2 on my draft board for a while. So and I think I'm happy he's starting to prove people wrong. I thought he was fine against Pittsburgh. He didn't turn the ball over until the last play of the game where we needed desperation throw to for the win, which didn't turn out well for him. But I think it was very very good, all things considered, on that. But yeah, I think I knew you was surprised because with all the slack I've given you this entire off season about DeAndre Hopkins and thinking that I got away with you benching DeAndre Hopkins 2 weeks ago when scoring 34.9 points. But
I got Gus Edwards to thank for that.
Yeah,
I think I got to thank Dino for that. He's the one who dropped him in the first place.
Yeah.
Dino
Thanks
dropped
a lot.
him.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, thanks a lot, Dino.
And then when I saw he was on a hot streak, I'm like, ooh, I got to pick this guy up because I think I had a running back crunch at the time.
Yeah. I'm in the exact same situation in mind, and why I sent out a trade proposal to Alex Putnam to help me fix that.
Oh, yeah, I think Dino sent one to Andrew, but Andrew rejected it, and Andrew wanted to get my opinion. I think, I was on the fence. Dino asked for Tua Tagovailoa, and in return, he was going to give Andrew Jerry Jeudy and Brian Robinson Jr.
What? No.
Yeah. So yeah, Andrew said no.
Yeah.
And I told him if Dino was to counter with Jonathan Taylor, I would probably say okay. But
yeah, but I'm like with we talked about Alex's bench because he had Brees. No, actually, David had Brees Hall and Alvin Kamara on his bench, but he's not going to accept trade proposals from anybody. Meanwhile, Putnam has Rashad White and Alexander Madison, so on his bench. Yeah, but I do. It looks like I will get Travis Etienne back from the bye week. And then I will be getting then we'll see what happens in the trade. But I think with all this being said, Tim, I think I'm ready to tell everyone who we're picking this week.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, I think I muted Tim. Nope. Maybe not.
Oh, I guess I forgot to swing my little microphone down from my headset here. As you can see, upper left-hand side, week 9, Flynn and Tally both went 11-3 straight up. I went 8-6. Meanwhile, against the spread, Tally went very well with 10-4. Flynn went 8-6. I went 6-8. So for the season, right now, we are 82-54 for Flynn straight up. Tally and myself tied at 84-52. And for the season, I guess the spread, I have a slight 1 game advantage over the Tally, 71-63-2. He's got 70-64-2. And Flynn is bringing up the rear at 64-70-2. And so with that, we will go into our picks. And you see right out there at the bottom of the screen there, 4 teams on the bye week this week. Kansas City Chiefs, Miami Dolphins, Los Angeles Rams, and those Philadelphia Chickens. So And if you have any of those players who play for any one of those 4 teams, be sure you bench them. Or if you have to cut them because they will do you no good this week. And so, as we look at the list of the games for this week, Carolina at Chicago, I think we all agree that this is the garbage game of the week.
Indeed.
Yeah, but the tally is going to go with the Carolina Panthers to win this game outright. So with that in mind, it's an upset special.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, even if Fields does play, I don't think he's going to be 100% necessarily.
Yeah, but I think Justin Fields is gonna have a good game.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I really hope you're right.
I hope so too. I've got them winning 7. I got the Bears winning 17-13. Then we go to the Germany game, Frankfurt, Germany. Got the Colts and the Patriots. Flynn and Natalie going with the Colts. I am going with the Patriots on this one. So I guess that's it there. We are all in agreement with the Baltimore Ravens taking down the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, although both of you have the Browns points, but I think Baltimore -6 was tricky because but I think this is a bad matchup for Cleveland.
Yeah, it could well be. And it looks like we are all in agreement with the Bengals over the Texans.
Yeah, I mean the Texans covering can feel like an overreaction to CJ Stroud and his performance on Sunday, but I do think CJ Stroud is gonna move the ball up and down the field against Cincinnati. I think it's gonna be a case where the Bengals find a way to win despite playing their B game. So that's going to be something to note here. But the Bengals are absolutely in the conversation in the Super Bowl, but to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, especially this past week when they took down those Buffalo Bills. That was I was listening to that game the other night on the radio, and very impressive there. We have the 49ers at the Jaguars. Natalie is lone wolf here. He's actually taking the Jaguars to win this one.
Yeah, the Niners haven't been themselves lately. They've been slowly falling apart a bit.
I think it's the return of Deebo Samuel and the return of Trent Williams and the addition of Chase Young to that defensive line, and that Jacksonville's offensive line is going to be quite vulnerable on Sunday. So I think those three things are those factors of why I took San Francisco. I mean, if it was the case that Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel weren't going to play, Brock Purdy was going to be a double agent like he was in the Cincinnati game and a double agent like he was in the Minnesota game. So that was just how it's going to work. But I think that's where how I feel about that.
Yeah, I agree totally, especially with the 49ers coming off of the bye week after losing 3 games in a row after they tore up on the Cowboys a few weeks ago. Saints at Vikings. Flynn and we are both taking the Vikings while Natalie is taking the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, Hawkinson is hurt. He's dealing with an injury. Even if he plays, he might not be 100%. He's a key piece to their offense.
Yeah, he was, like I said, he was a great pickup from Detroit. Packers at Steelers. We are all united in taking the Steelers over the Packers.
Yeah, but I think one note about the Vikings Saints game is that I think the Vikings have a major coaching advantage in that game. When you're looking at Kevin O'Connell against Dennis Allen, and then you're looking at Brian Flores coaching up that defense. I think that's where I'm going to putting the Vikings ahead of the Saints.
So we also have Tennessee at Tampa Bay. Natalie and I are taking the Bucks, while Flynn is taking the Titans. Interesting.
Yeah, I think Will Levis should have been the starter from the beginning. For the Titans, they probably would have won a couple of more games because of that. Yeah, I think we also before you were going to talk about the Steelers Packers game, we all have the Steelers winning that game, and I have that as a low scoring game.
Mm.
Yeah, I see. 19-9. Interesting. Okay. Going into the late Sunday games, we have the Falcons heading to Arizona to take out the Cardinals. Natalia and I agree with the Cardinals, with the Falcons winning, while Flynn is taking the Cardinals.
Yeah, that was the most difficult one for me.
It's the toughest one for me to pick. The toughest ones for me to pick were the Niners and Jaguars, and then the Falcons, the Arizona Cardinals.
Interesting right there. We have the Detroit Lions heading to Los Angeles, taking on the Chargers over at SoFi, and we are all in agreement. We're all taking the Lions over the Chargers. Dallas with the biggest point spread of the week. They're at home against the New York Giants.
And this appears to be the lock of the week for everybody.
Yeah.
So Flynn, can you give us 3 locks? A 1. A 2. Three. And 3 is a magic number. I guess there's no question here. Even though I see,
sorry. Go ahead.
I see a tally with maybe a closer score than what Flynn and I have.
Yeah, I was actually really tempted to have the Giants covering the spread, but I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, the Tommy DeVito can't play.
Just let Matt Barkley start. He can't do any worse.
You want Micah Parsons getting 6 more sacks on him, or DeMarcus Lawrence,
or maybe Dorrance Armstrong, or Dante Fowler, or maybe Stephon Gilmore, or maybe Deron Bland.
3 pick sixes, by the way.
I'm giving him some dignity. Tommy DeVito's going to get a rushing touchdown, I think.
You think it's going to be a garbage time touchdown?
Yes.
In the 4th quarter. Yeah.
I think it'll be him and possibly Barkley with the other one.
Yeah. But
Tim has the Giants getting a touchdown.
Anyway, we're pretty much in agreement with that. Washington at Seattle. We all have Seattle winning. However, Natalie's got Washington with the points.
Yeah, I think 6 is just slightly high. I do think they're going to make it interesting.
Yeah, but I think a couple of things. I think it was about their performances last week, because Seattle got wiped or got their asses kicked by Baltimore, and Washington won by 3 points against Mac Jones, and against the Patriots special teams that couldn't go play without committing a penalty. So yeah, so I think Seattle is gonna bounce back here.
All right, the Sunday night game is the New York Jets at the Las Vegas Raiders. Flynn and I are taking the hometown Raiders, while Natalie is taking the Jets.
Zach Wilson on a short week.
It's for Aiden O'Connell, too small of a sample size. They got to see how he does against a better performing defense.
Which coach do you trust right now? Adrian Peters, Antonio Pierce, or Robert Saleh?
Well, yeah, true. It's just
Which quarterback do you trust, Aiden O'Connell or Zach Wilson?
Well, honestly, neither. I had to pick. It came down to the defense was a tiebreaker for me. I feel like the Jets' defense is a little bit better.
I mean, if Brian Dable didn't try the field goal attempt, this is a Jets team that would have lost to the Giants. That should have lost to Tommy DeVito. So of course I can't pick the Jets to win that game. And mind you, this was a Raiders team that, listen, I thought was going to be the worst team in the AFC this year. I had them winning 4 or 5 games tops. They're about to go to 5-5.
No, I mean, here's your shot to catch up to me now.
Yeah,
if everything goes your way, then yeah.
Yeah, if everything goes my way, I'm going to be tied with you in the standings with the spreads. I mean, because I think in terms of the spreads, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games where we defer against the spread.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And finally, the Monday night matchup, it's the Denver Broncos at the Buffalo Bills, and we are all in agreement with the Bills.
Yeah, Flynn has the Broncos covering.
Yeah.
Barely, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's also the Broncos coming off a bye week, too. So.
Oh, both of you have the Broncos covering.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have the Bills winning outright.
Yeah, winning and covering.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, if you're a favorite and you win outright, it's just a matter of
right.
cover the spread. But I mean, goes for underdogs. You just win the game outright. Like for example, like Carolina, who will obviously lose on Thursday night because the tally doesn't know how to pick Thursday night football games apparently.
Yeah.
Well, you did get the Steelers game right though last week.
Yep.
So of course, there are 3 guarantees in life. Death, outside last week, 3 guarantees in life: death, taxes, and the tally lose on Thursday night football. That's that's just how it's going to work, man. I mean, to be fair, I do have I make the picks and I don't see them beforehand. So I'm not influenced in any way. But of course, that's what's going to happen. So coming up on Thursday night football. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I think we have to give our answers for the trivia question.
Oh yeah. So once again, the question was CJ Stroud last week against the Buccaneers threw for 470 yards and 5 touchdowns. So the question was, what rookie did he pass for that record?
I have a bit of a guess. It might be a little bit of a wild one, though. I believe it's an active player. I'm going with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I was initially thinking Cam Newton because he had that amazing because in his first game in the amazing debut against the Cardinals and he had that amazing thing. But I do remember Deshaun Watson had like a crazy game in Seattle before he tore his ACL that first time and that end of the season. So I'm gonna go with Deshaun Watson here.
Okay, yeah, I'm going with Lamar Jackson.
Deshaun Watson is good. Lamar Jackson is good. But once again, we have stumped our panel. Go back to 2012, week 9. Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck?
Who did he play that week? He didn't play New England, did he?
It was the Colts against the Dolphins.
Oh, of course. I think that was the year after. Was Joe Philbin coaching the Dolphins then?
I don't quite remember, but Andrew Luck threw for 433 yards that game.
So
wow,
that came out is essential. But I think for the Dolphins, that was the week after they played at the Meadowlands, the day before Hurricane Sandy hit.
But I can't even take it that far back. 2012. Well, that was like 12 years ago. I can't feel that far back. So it was Andrew Luck with 433 passing yards against the Dolphins that way. That day. So
yeah, I'm just now looking at Deshaun Watson that week 8 game against Seattle. Because the other day he tore his ACL. He had 402 passing yards in that one. So that was a good guess there.
402 with 4 touchdowns. Not bad.
Yeah, and a 41-38 final. Then Cam Newton in his where I pull up his fantasy numbers, but I'm looking at week 1 against Arizona. 422 passing yards in week 1. He had 432 passing the next week against Green Bay. So Cam Newton, so Deshaun Watson broke Cam Newton's record by Andrew Luck broke Cam Newton's record by a yard, and now CJ Stroud breaks Andrew Luck's record. And for reference, remember Lamar Jackson that didn't start playing his rookie year until mid-season. So, but his season high that year was 204 passing.
Yeah. So that was your answer, Andrew Luck, back in 2012, 433 against the Miami Dolphins. And so we are just about to wrap things up here with week 10 of Fantasy Football Fever. Don't forget, y'all, we got some links to Hooked on Sports. Look to the description area right down there. Click on one of those links and you'll go straight to Hooked on Sports. John Flynn's got all the sports information you need. And of course, don't forget tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems, Pistol 90 channel. That's what you need to go. YouTube.com/APIZZLE90. That's all you gotta do. So, any closing thoughts for tonight's show?
Yeah, well, we're really down to the wire. Just 5 weeks left of the regular season. And, before we know it, the playoffs will be here. Anything could happen at this stage. Nobody has clinched a playoff spot yet. Nobody's been eliminated.
Yeah, looks like everybody is still in this thing. Because what does Herm Edwards say? Play it, Flynn.
So we will do it. No, we will not do that right now because we have a fantasy question.
Oh, who would you rather rest of the season? Jonathan Taylor, Breece Hall, or Saquon Barkley?
Ooh, we can only pick one out of these.
Oh, interesting.
Out of these, I think the safest bet, Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall's the safest bet right now.
Yeah. The answer is Saquon Barkley because he's going to be the whole offense for the Giants the rest of the way. So,
and for me, it's Breece because I think out of these 3 teams, the Jets have the best chance of making the playoffs. I think Breece is going to get he's going to get a lot of targets too. He's going to get a lot of rushing attempts. Well, I would say he's probably the safest since the Jets are the best team right now among these 3.
Sounds interesting there, Breece Hall. Jonathan Taylor, I can't quite pick him just yet. Breece Hall is great for the Jets. Saquon Barkley, still about 90% maybe for Saquon. I could probably take that, but that's.
I thought he played really well against the Raiders and the Giants' offensive line. In terms of rush protection, I thought was pretty good. I thought the Giants' offensive line played their best game of the season against the Raiders. It was just the problem was that Tommy DeVito couldn't throw the football accurately for that. But I thought the Giants O-line played pretty well over the weekend. But so which is why I think Saquon Barkley will allow Saquon Barkley's home run hitting ability to show up at some point.
Well, that's what we got to say, Bryce. Hey, thanks for watching. Spread the word. We're here Tuesday night until the until the Thursday night season is over. Then we'll be switching over to Friday nights.
Yeah, and speaking of which, we were going to talk about playing to win before us, right?
Right. That's right.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Yeah. So that's that for you.
You're welcome, Bryce. Thanks for watching. Spread the word. Listen, people. I don't think I've ever mentioned this before, but we have some people who sent in questions. We love it. We love trying to answer your questions. Spread the word. Best thing to do. Tell people about it. You want to see more of this stuff. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell so you'll know when a new video is ready for you. And then hit the thumbs up. Give us a like. Spread the word. Here, trying to help other fantasy players get their stuff. You heard the starter sit-ups and all that. And obviously, I got a lot of work to do, obviously, with my team. So as soon as we get off the air, I'm probably going to work on that before I hit the sack. So I guess we will put a wrap on this. Don't forget, John Flynn Hooked on Sports. Don't forget that. And don't forget, we'll all be back here, same time, same place. We're still getting close to the playoffs in fantasy. I know you people are too. You fantasy players out there getting your playoffs pretty close. So,
oh yeah. And then the final reminder: the bye is the. Oh, sorry. I was going to say the buys one more time, just as the final reminder. Dolphins, Eagles, Chiefs, Rams.
There you go.
Yeah, and which includes Patrick Mahomes, which includes Travis Kelce, which includes Cooper Kupp, Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Cooper Kupp, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, among others.
Yeah, and many more. Yep.
Yeah, and the whole hee-haw gang. Anyway, that's a different story there. So, great show, guys. Thanks.
Oh yeah.
You guys helped make this awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do it without you. And we can't do this show without all of you because this is why we do it for you. We love each and every one of you. So we'll put the wraps for tonight. For Mr. Natali, for Mr. Flynn, I'm Mr. McClellan. Thanks for watching this. Stay warm out there. Enjoy the games, everybody. God bless you all. And as always, be a good sport. See ya.